Questions, please?
Bob, walk through feeding the post, and Gabe seems very good at how that play works.
Well, the first half it was twofold. One, we didn't really move our feet in post. We were kind of trying to lean on guys and not move our feet, and then we made terrible angle passes in the first half. In the second half, that's what we talked about at halftime was it's a block out. That's what it is. You get the guy on your back and block him out and don't let him get around you. And the post guys did a much better job in the second half of doing that, and we did a much better job of feeding the ball. Post guys are going to tell you where to throw the ball. They're going to have a hand up. Hit the hand. That's, and then just our angles were terrible.
Sounds easy to hit the hand, but you've talked before, you haven't always had guys who can really get better at it than most, or where's the...
Well, I don't know. I mean, I did it. I made Warren Baker famous. A little bit of both. No, they give you the target, you hit the target. I mean, that's athletics, I think. Most sports. Hit the target.
Bob, first 6-7 minutes were pretty even. You make wholesale changes. Knapp hits a couple big shots. Chase hits a big shot. It seemed like that was kind of when things started rolling for you guys. Did you feel like that was when the momentum sort of started going your way?
I thought when it was we got it to 15 and 11, we were starting to. Chase has been terrific. I mean, I don't think people. I know most of you do, but normal people don't understand how much Chase brings to the table for us. I mean, he's been in a lot of cases our best defender on the floor. He's made shots. He's telling constantly other guys where to go, what to do. He's been fantastic, and Knapp's just getting better and better. You know, I forget. I don't forget. I guess I just don't think about that. You know, he's coming back from a pretty serious knee injury, and then had some other things where they didn't know whether he'd ever play again. So, and you just don't come back from that in a couple months. So, both of those guys are just getting better and better. They give us a pretty good pop off the bench.
Speaking of bench, Coach, almost half your points came from your reserves, and you had that 12-0 run in the first half. All bench players scoring. Is it, I guess, relief knowing you can get that much of an offensive output from your bench?
Well, it's why we recruited him. We recruited Sean because he made shots, and we went through a year where we couldn't make shots, and we thought he was a guy we could come in that would consistently give us somebody on the perimeter that they had to guard. And Taz the same way. I mean, you're talking about the leading junior college scorer in Division II junior college and the second leading scorer in Division I junior college. I mean, they scored there, and I think the hard thing is they're trying to figure out what's going on. So it's hard to play and think. You really play and react. You don't play and think. When you're playing well, you're reacting to what goes on, and because you've already practiced it and done it, and you understand what you do in different situations. And I think as early in the year, those guys were thinking too much and not reacting, and now they're starting to react. They're starting to understand what's asked of them, and consequently they're playing better. It's not really, you don't think. You don't have time to think. You react.
Bob, Jamie mentioned the game out there last year, kind of won by a pretty wide margin. Talking with Derek, he said it's not something that you dwell on, but it's something that you think about. Did you get the sense, as it started to snowball a little bit, that some of the guys that were around last year maybe thinking of that game in Fort Worth?
Yeah, I think they remembered. It's hard not to.
You've coached against Jamie Dixon, obviously, a bunch of times since you've been here. Just what's your relationship with him like?
Well, I think we have a good relationship. And being in the Big East together and playing as many times as we played and recruiting really the same kids. I mean, we recruit Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, just like he does, and we recruited New York. He recruited New York. We're very similar in that regard. So yeah, you spend a lot of time. And I respect him as coach. I mean, I think he does a really good job. What he's done at TCU is a lot of people couldn't do, obviously, because they kept firing guys. So he's the vice president of the NABC board, of which I'm on. So we're on conference calls once every couple of weeks, and then meetings probably 4 or 5 times a year. So.
Bob, Oscar becoming better defending around the rim.
Yeah, he wasn't very good to start with, and I think sometimes he's just been, since he came over here, he's just been bigger, stronger, faster, and quite frankly better than everybody's played against. And now there's more size, there's more athleticism, and it takes, he kind of, and he and Derek really don't play against each other every day because we're trying to get them to learn how to play together. So I just thought he was kind of, what's the word I want to say? He just wasn't Oscar to start with. I didn't think he had. Oscar's got such great enthusiasm and he's excited about playing and got a lot of emotion, and I just didn't think he had that at the beginning. And then I told him in the second half, listen, we're going to throw you the ball, but you gotta sit down and put people on your back like you've been doing. And he's so fast twitched that when he catches it down there, he's got a great chance to get it on the rim.
Coach, the other day you were talking about TCU's three-point shooting, but obviously your guys have, statistically have been pretty good against guarding the threes. I mean, how much, were you actually worried about, if their threes could make a difference in this one? Did you have any?
Well, that's their game, really. I mean, that's Jamie's done a great job being, I think, 11-3 because they don't have, other than Samuels, they don't have great size. They don't have great depth on the interior. And he's used to the three ball, I think, as a weapon. And you watch them play. They're 3-0 in the league. 3-0 in the league. They were tied with Baylor for first. And they're gonna have a say so, I think, in who wins the league. They'll beat some of the so-called front runners.
So when you see your three-point defense tonight, does that give you more faith, I guess maybe is the right word, and what your guys are doing out there on the perimeter?
Well, see, I still think, Justin, we got a ways to go. We screwed up some switches. We gave them too many open looks. I thought we did a better job the game before and not of challenging shots than we did today at times. Now, there were times when we did a great job, but it wasn't as consistent, I didn't think. And the time when we're making a run in the first half, and we let Bain catch it. He comes around behind and catches it and shoots in a three. Well, who didn't know they were going to try to get the ball to him at the end of the clock? And we should have taken that away. We should have forced him to back cut into help, and we didn't do it. And that's kind of they keep telling me they want to be great. Well, if you want to be great, you have to take care of the little things as well as the big things.
You've been telling us all year about how you can shoot. How encouraging was it to see that come through in the
Who's
game?
that?
Your three-point shooting today.
Well, they can shoot. I mean, we recruited them to shoot. Taz, and really, we haven't, I don't think, used all of Taz's talent and ability, because he was a guy you could invert and play in the post in junior college, and it was a very strong junior college conference. But you can't, we just can't throw everything at them, because again, it's a game of reaction. It's not a game of thought process. You don't have time.
You talked about executing all the way through the shot clock in this half-court defense. Which one is more difficult to execute through its entire run? Full-court press of past teams, or doing it like this through an entire possession?
I don't think there's really any difference. I mean, it's all about angles and closeouts and pressure on the ball. And I mean, obviously JC was the best on the ball defender in the country for 2 years. We don't have that. I mean, he could have done this. It was I thought, a better way for us to win, to do it the other way. I think this is the way we can win. But we weren't playing a 6'10" and a 6'9" and bringing in a 7-footer and another 6'8". So, and with girth. Think about our bigs back then. I mean, John Holden was 85 pounds. Nate at that time didn't weigh that much. I mean, our bigs weren't really physical bigs. We have physical bigs now.
Coach, I know you said that you guys have a ways to go in defense, but Oscar said that he thinks that you guys are the best defensive team in the nation. Do you think so?
Well, I'm glad he thinks that. I mean, I am. I'm glad he thinks that, but he probably doesn't watch as much tape as I do.
Do you think that players have made the best out of Haley and Matthews not being as productive offensively? It just seems like you've had a couple of guys, Napper, Chase, today Sean, guys who had to fill in for that third spot, maybe fourth spot even, that maybe extra minutes and opportunities help them a little bit, help you all.
I don't know, Mike. It's kind of, it's for the most part, it is a game of kind of ups and downs. I mean, you shoot it really well one day, you don't shoot it quite as well the next day. Emmett carried us early. I mean, he carried us. I mean, he made big plays. He made big shots. Wichita game, when they started to make a run, he hit a big three that really killed the run. He's just struggling to make a shot. And that, that affects you. It affects people. Jermaine can do so many things. When Bain got hot, what do? We put Jermaine on him. And Jermaine's whatever he is, 6'6", 6'7", and long. That's tough for a 6'1", 6'2" guy. And he's got ball skills. And he's kind of been in a slump, and he made some plays. But I mean, I think as people saw, he can make athletic plays.
Kind of going off that a little bit, by the time February, March rolls around, you may not have anyone in the top, 10 in the league in scoring or anything, something like that, maybe 8 or whatever. But you've got a team approach, a team aspect, a good bench. R12 is that kind of. Does that make it more enjoyable for you as a coach, as opposed to having that, Kenyon Martin?
That was a bad one to bring up. I'd take Kenyon 100 out of 100 times.
And everyone just kind of revolves around him. I mean,
I think what's refreshing is how much they root for each other, how much they care about each other, how much they spend time with each other. I mean, there's no jealousy there, you know. Derek said to me, you know, get those other guys in. That's like with 4 minutes to go when he knew that the game was over with. You know, he said they deserve to play. And then the guys on the bench are talking about, you know, putting Mackey in. You know, they like each other. They like each other. They get along. You know, there has never been with this group any discord whatsoever. They're just, and it's not. The day before our last game, they were all in the gym at midnight shooting. And meet together. I mean, and it wasn't like guys that usually or always hang out together. Not usually, but always hang out together. It's just they're like, hey man, let's go get some shots, and they all go. Or you know, hey, let's go to wherever, Chick-fil-A or whatever.
So that makes it easier to coach them.
Yeah, it is easier. Yeah, it is easier to coach them. You're not dealing with all the other stuff.
Coach, thank you.
Yes, sir.